A very good morning, everyone. I, Hasib Khan, welcome you all to this pre-conference workshop on the topic Health, Healing, and Happiness. According to well-known American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, the first wealth is health. With this quote in our minds, I heartily welcome Professor Dr. Manju Agrawal with a brief introduction. Dean Student Welfare and Professor of Psychology at Amity University, Lucknow campus, Dr. Manju Agrawal is a psychotherapist, IMDHA certified hypnotherapist, mind coach, a social entrepreneur, and an educationist with 40 years research, teaching, and industry experience.
That's enough, I think. I can start now.
Okay, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Asim. Thank you very much. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce Ms. Atman Parmar for today's conference, for today's this workshop. And in fact, I was very lucky to meet her when I recently went to Dubai and had the opportunity to attend her workshop. I requested her, and I'm really thankful to you, Ms. Atman, that you readily accepted it, despite your very, very busy schedule and very, very busy year, in fact. I think her every day is booked. So we, as a team, ACEPH team, we all are grateful to you. A brief introduction of Ms. Atman is, Ms. Atman had been a homeopathic doctor, and she is actually still a homeopathic doctor. Once a doctor is always a doctor. After 15 years of a successful career as a practicing homeopath, she chose to explore metaphysics beyond physical science. She studied various modalities, including yoga, meditation, various healing methods, past life regression, and hypnotherapy. She also headed the Indian chapter of the California Hypnosis Institute of India. I also did a course from there, Atman, so I'm thrilled to know that. She has designed a unique technique of bridging the conscious mind with the superconscious mind for healing, as well as for consciousness development through a channeled and clinically tested knowledge of 250 plus energy centers. The technique that she has invented, in fact, and she is the chief architect and the author of that technique, is called radical healing. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. She has traveled and taught the technique called radical healing in different countries such as Poland, Germany, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Cyprus, Turkey, UAE, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, just a few names, and many more. She has also worked with several corporate organizations and individual groups, on site as well as online. Her passion is to generate awareness of the metaphysical assistance to assist in easing life on earth. Love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and care are the essential values of her teaching and training. She has authored 4 books, and I also possess 2 of them, and I'm really thrilled to have them. This is Money Speaking, and it's not about money, let me tell you. It is, the name is Money Speaking. She will herself explain what does it mean. Money Speaking, Radical Crystalline Mind, Quest for a Guru, and Radical Insights. We are really obliged and thankful and grateful to you, Ms. Atman, for giving this valuable time. And I think a lot of people are going to benefit out of you. And that is how we are going to create a chain. And I'm sure they will further impart this knowledge to others. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Manju Agarwal. It's indeed a pleasure and a very valuable opportunity for me as well as you and humanity. What I'm going to share today has the potential to shift the way you look at life, the way you respond to challenges and difficulties in your life, and emerge as happier, healthier, and much more confident person. Doesn't matter how life is treating you, or doesn't matter how life is around, your perception is important and your reactions are important. We may not be able to change everything in our space, but we can certainly change the way we respond to life. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. We'll go through a small presentation first. I'm going to talk about happiness first. And then I'm going to talk about how to apply what I taught. I'm going to teach you something very, very powerful, a very short, powerful technique which can bring about a shift in minutes, I would say, just minutes. And I will give you demonstration on how it works. And if the time permits, so we'll have very powerful happiness meditation, okay? Something that fills you up with joy and in no time. Okay? The technique, Radical, is a copyrighted and trademark curriculum. However, I give you this permission to teach and forward it to whomsoever you want, especially the things that I'm going to teach you today, because it's for the world. I believe the happier people we have around will have happier universe around us, and together we can spread love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, and joy. And that's my mission in life. So stay tuned. I'm going to share the screen first and let's begin. Okay, so I'm not getting into the definition of happiness because I'm sure even if you try your best, you can't define happiness. It's experience, completely. It's an individual experience. Though the tagline from MIT University talks about Anand, and there is a little difference between Anand and happiness. Perhaps it's more of a joy. Anand is much refined experience of happiness. I would call it, it's closer to bliss rather than just happiness. However, it's amazing even to feel happy because happiness is the first step towards Anand, the ultimate Anand. So happiness, unhappiness to happiness with self-healing. So when I'm talking about this, everybody knows about happiness. It's something that we have experienced. I'm not getting into details there. However, I want to let you know about healing because healing has different connotation in different people's mind. Years back, nobody knew what healing is all about. I remember once when I learned Reiki around 20 years back, I had to sit and explain to each one of them what healing is all about and what is Reiki. It was unknown language for people, and slowly, interestingly, when I started practicing, then today, over a period of time, you see healing has become a household word, aura, chakra, all those such familiar words, right? And yet there are different connotations because the beginning happened with Reiki. And, it's the same healing technique that we Indians had been using. It came from abroad back to us, and it became very popular, so much that it became kind of synonymous. Even today people ask, is it something like Reiki that you do? Reiki is one of the healing modalities. So healing can happen through mind, healing can happen through emotion, through your energy, through physical body, through herbs, through anything that makes you feel whole and complete. The word healing comes from German word, heli. And Can I just mute everyone? My co-host, can you help me mute everyone? There is a little buzz sound. So, Job, in German word for healing is being whole and complete. From there comes heal, and from there it comes the word health. All those healing is that experience of feeling whole and complete and being in touch with that which is whole and complete. That's a thesaurus meaning of healing, and it's not necessarily always fixing. Things do get fixed when we get in touch with that which is whole and complete. And that, what I mean is the ultimate consciousness. When you connect to the ultimate consciousness, you feel whole and complete. And that healing is. And when you feel whole and complete, experiencing happiness and joy, anand, is anyway very, very natural, right? So our attempt is going to heal in order to feel whole and complete and get happiness as a byproduct, as a bonus gift. Let's go to the next slide. And I want you to just think for yourself, what is happiness for you? So happiness could be different for different people. You know, for somebody, happiness could be having extra jewelry. For somebody, having extra cash to shop. For somebody, it could be um, getting a chance to educate themselves. For somebody, it could be just a freedom and liberation. For somebody, it could be going on an extravagant holiday, or it could be reading an amazing book, or for somebody, it could be just party, drinks, alcohol, cigarette, and that's happiness. So happiness is different for different people. Why? Because we have a lot of beliefs associated with happiness. I also want you to ask a question to yourself. What would happen if you're happy all the time? Be honest. Just think of your life where you're happy right from the morning till midnight, till the time you go to bed, day after day, months after months, years after years. There's no other emotion, just happiness. What would happen? Yeah. So obviously, we say we want happiness. It's like we say we want gulab jamun and jalebi. If somebody keeps feeding you with gulab jamun and jalebi 4 times a day, all meals a day for days together, you're going to get sick of that, right? So happiness is one of those lovely flavors that you would enjoy, but not necessarily the only flavor. Eventually, you need a mixture of that. So some people do feel happy when they get angry. Some people do feel happy when they feel sad. So ultimately, all emotions that we do or we feel is eventually leading us to happiness, a food for thought. So why do you feel unhappy? That's my next question. I want you to just think, why do you feel unhappy? Okay, and that answer will give you a lot of clue. Another question that I'm going to ask you, why do you cling on to your past unhappiness? Trust in this current moment. If you don't think of your past and if you don't worry about future, probably you can be happy here and now. If you can be free from your past story and future worries. Yet we do cling on to the past unhappiness. A lot of people come and complain, being in a therapist mode or as a coach, they say, oh, my mother-in-law has troubled me so much. When did she trouble you last? 10 years back. Okay, she troubled you 10 years back, but you're troubling yourself now by clinging on to what she did 10 years back. So we often cling on to unhappiness. Why? Think about that, right? Also think about, why do you keep worrying about unhappy future? A lot of time you invite unhappiness because you're worried that you'll be unhappy in the future. To avoid unhappiness of the future days, you can invite unhappiness in the now. Also think, why do you respond negatively? You have a choice. You can respond positively, you can respond negatively. Why? Why do you complicate your relationship, personal and professional lives? Why? I mean, you have a choice to simplify it, keep it very simple, and yet you do pretty often. Why do you blame others for your unhappiness? Where happiness is your state of mind, and yet we often blame others for our unhappiness. Why do you manifest a hurtful distancing in your relationship? Why do you often feel exploited, backstabbed, betrayed by others? People say you should open up your heart to feel happy. But I have a different take. I say open your mind to feel happy. Why? Because if you have a negative thought, you're going to have a negative emotion, and that will generate negative energy and then negative manifestations. When you have positive thoughts, we have positive emotions. Yes, somebody raised hand. Is it one of the panelists? Or I can delay it a little bit? Two participants raised hand.
I think you can delay it. I think
Okay.
let's have a complete presentation, and then after the session, we'll take questions.
I'll certainly give a chance to everyone. I'll try and clarify everyone's doubts. Okay. So if you have a negative thought, you have negative emotions, and then it generates negative energy, negative manifestation. If you have positive thoughts, we generate positive emotions, we have positive energy and positive manifestations. So it all begins with a thought. You can think yourself to a happiness, and you can think yourself to sad state of mind. And it all begins with thought, so we need to trace that thought. We think that thoughts are only from our conscious mind. There are a lot of thoughts which generate from subconscious mind, not all of mind way of thinking and responding, and hence realize that we think our way to happiness or problems, or if you can, to your conscious as well as think the way you think. If the thoughts are not really constructive or conducive to your life or to your life purpose and life plan, they often get settled in some of those energy centers, which are also known as chakras. Most people know only 7 chakras. We have researched and studied approximately 250 chakras all over the body, and they do settle. Now, based on where you feel discomfort or energy stagnation or even pain in the chakras, I can easily, not me, all radical students can figure out what was that thought which did not work well for you, or where did you go wrong in your thinking, and how you can correct your thought. Right. Happiness is governed by your beliefs, and happiness is a choice you have got to make it. It's you who can decide to be happy. It's you who can decide to be unhappy. If you choose to be happy, no matter what, you can be happy. Nobody can make you unhappy. And if you choose to be unhappy, no matter what, nobody can make you happy, right? Because it's an individual personal choice at all levels of our existence. Happiness is governed by social, educational, spiritual, and cultural conditionings. We've been taught if this is thing, if you get married, then you can be happy. If you have money, you can be happy. If you have this, then you can be happy. If you have children, you can be happy. That means if the opposite is there, you're supposed to be unhappy. So we presume, we buy these beliefs and manifest unhappiness for ourselves. Happiness is governed by your response to the past memories, and happiness is governed by your choices in the now. So you can completely govern your state of happiness if you wish to. All right. Choose to be happy. That's all I say. Make happiness a way of life and not an end destination. We've been chasing happiness. And when you chase something, you miss out on an opportunity to enjoy the companionship. You can keep chasing throughout the life. If you make happiness as an end destination, what would you do throughout the journey? Are you going to have the journey feeling unhappy? Why? That destination will come and go like a station. You'll feel temporarily happy, again chasing something, hoping that you will meet happiness one fine day. It doesn't happen that way. You've got to be happy in the now, in this very moment. Are we ready to take that stand or that particular kind of oath or that particular intent in the now? And if yes, let's all do that first for a minute. So I want you to just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in a lot of positive energy.
Please, all the panelists, put on your videos.
Breathe out all your stresses, worries, fears, frustrations, anxieties, all sorts of stressful emotions. Just breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Continue breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. You'll start feeling lighter and lighter. Now switch over to normal breathing. Connect to yourself, your higher consciousness, and your superconsciousness. Seek the blessings, seek the guidance, answers, and solutions. And seek permission to be happy. Send out an intent to the universe and say, I forgive myself for whatever it is. And I grant myself permission to be happy, irrespective of outer circumstances, irrespective of beliefs and conditionings. Take a deep breath and bring all your energies back to your body. And now you can open your eyes. Okay, I'll take a short break and answer some of the questions for 5 to 10 minutes, a few questions, and then I'll continue my presentation. Yes, Neha. Neha raised the hand. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay, not able to hear clearly. Voice is breaking a lot. Is that so?
So it's clear to us.
Okay, fine.
Clear
Check
to us.
internet and check the settings. All right. All right, so I go ahead with the presentation. Now, can you see the? Yeah. So you do not need the right company or the right people around to feel happy. Once you decide to be happy, you will attract right people and right circumstances. It's the other way around. The decision to be happy may attract right relationship and healthier bonding. However, do not wait for the right kind of people, the right circumstances. Happiness is the choice of response, to people and your circumstances. Most of us, we wait that only when this happens, I'll be happy. Only when I pass exams, I'll be happy. Only when I achieve my goals and objectives, I will be happy. Why not? Can you not be happy now? And can you not make happiness a way of life and be an achiever, being happy already? Happiness is contagious. Your happiness can go viral. What you need to do, check your expectations, address your beliefs, overcome rigid conditionings, resolve your unhealthy associations, resolve to always be happy, change the rules for happiness. I'm giving you this because we are going to convert that in our healing sessions. So these are the pointers, right? Neha Singh raised hand. Just put it in the comment box. That would be easy. Neha, thank you. Happiness is available like sunshine and air. It's there all around us. You need to allow happiness. So what blocks our happiness? Our thoughts, our beliefs, our conditionings, our rigid expectations, unhealthy associations, fear, negative approach, doubt and suspicion, preoccupation with the past experiences, blame game, reaction instead of response, insensitivity over sensitivity. Okay. What you need to do is identify the causative thought, modify the unhealthy causative thought, and make it healthy and effective for you, and then amplify the right thought. And that's what will bring about the shift in your vibration, and that will generate an experience of happiness. It sounds very, very theoretical so far. I'm going to make it practical for you, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay. So first thing first, heal your past experiences related to unhappiness, because a lot of time we carry forward what had happened in the past. Okay. Then address your fears, insecurities, and anxieties. That is the future stories. And enhance your self-esteem and self-worth. Because if you feel low and not good enough about yourself, if you feel unworthy, you're not going to grant yourself permission to be happy anyway. Enhance your consciousness, because no problem can be solved at the level of consciousness you created. So as you raise your consciousness, you start seeing your drama neutrally. You become aware of your games and you can resolve them easily. So let's begin. I'm going to show you the model of mind that I have learned from my teacher and teacher's teacher. That is Dr. Kapas from California and Dr. Sunny Satin. And I modified it, of course. It's not the original version, but a modified version based on my clinical understanding. So our mind is like a computer. Brain is, of course, a hardware, and mind is like a computer. We all know that we have conscious mind as well as subconscious mind, right? Now, conscious mind and subconscious mind is divided by arbitrary filter called filter mind. We do not take in all info and allow it to sink in our subconscious mind. We filter out a lot of information, and we also make sure that not everything that is stored in the subconscious mind is allowed to come to the conscious level, because there could be a traffic jam, right? Too much of information overload we are already exposed to. So it's got to get filtered out. Ask those people who are staying closer to the railway station or the airport. They wouldn't know how many aircraft passed, or they wouldn't know how many trains passed this morning, because we've got these filters in place. We don't let everything affect us. Yeah. Subconscious mind is more like a hard disk, and it also has very powerful programs which are downloaded as well as inherited. And whatever information we get from our senses, we often we take it in conscious mind, filter it through filter mind, and store neatly in the folders of the subconscious mind. Now, based on the folders, every folder has specific response and reaction system. So if you have safe and unsafe folder, useful and useless folder, you also have unhappy and happy folder. All those rules that I was talking about is a part of the filter mind. So if somebody's news of death comes, now death, we have created a rule that somebody dies, it's an unhappy event. So death information goes into another folder called sad event. And you suddenly feel sad, even if you have nothing to do with that person you've never met, and you're not directly, indirectly affected by that person, right? There's a classical example. You feel very sad if somebody dies, not because anything is going to change in your life. It could be, your neighbor's friend's neighbor, and yet you feel sad about it. Why? Number one, because death has a set of responses and reactions. So death is filed in unhappy folder, and unhappiness has its own consequences. So we have a set of reactions in our body, which we call it as unhappiness, right? And the storage system plays a major role in our life. If we change the storage system, if we change the rules, we can change the storage system. And if we change the storage system, we can change our subconscious reaction to a given situation. That's what I was trying to say, that it's not about external circumstances, it's our internal storage system and our own rules that we have created. Okay. So what we need to do is just shuffle the folders and make sure that your storage system is reorganized so that your responses are refined, right? When that happens, the subconscious mind storage gets sorted out and creates space for further download, because subconscious mind is connected to the cloud consciousness or superconscious mind. And when we are connected to the superconscious mind, we also have a potential to download powerful, important programs like any other computers. So we need to make sure that our filter mind is clear. The subconscious mind is very well organized so that we can connect to the cloud consciousness. It's like having a Wi-Fi connection. And when that happens, we can become observers of our lives, like driving a car and connecting to the GPS and knowing how a car is doing. And that gives us a fairly good idea of our future, past, also what's happening around us. And that makes us a conscious observer of our own life, which creates fairly good detachment and a better understanding of our lives. We also have something called Archive Mind, where there are amazing programs, really dormant. We can activate some of the programs, and we can also download some of the programs at will as per our discretion if we handle the filter mind and subconscious mind stories. And finally, what is this? A refrigerator. So a man who was very hungry in the middle of the night woke up and raided his refrigerator and found it completely empty. And he was surprised. And slowly he found a note saying, what you're looking for is already inside you. Okay. So if you're looking for happiness outside, trust, it's all there. You have to activate that program. Are you with me on that? And if yes, let's start. Okay, so that's the first presentation. Sorry. Okay, now I'll take a few questions. If my co-host help me figure that out, if there are questions, and then the next part, I will give you a practical demonstration. of all that I have taught you. And I'll share the technique, how to heal your unhappiness, if any. No
Anyone?
questions?
Neha Singh has raised the hand. Neha, can you write your question in the chat box? Please write all the attendees, please write your questions in the chat box. And panelists, if you have any questions, you can ask directly. Anyone has any question? I think you have been crystal clear. I'm sure they must be finding a little bit difficult to understand the conscious, subconscious mind, because many of them are hearing it for the first time. But I think once you do the exercise, it will be easier for them to understand, and maybe we can take the question answer at the end.
Later. So let's kind of connect what I've been talking.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give a demonstration of how it works, right? If anybody would like to come forward as a for demonstration, I would give you the demonstration right here. Two attendees have raised hands. Neha Singh, Sneha Vashisht, and Monica Das. Okay, is it possible for them to unmute and speak? Lower hand.
I think Arvind, Arvind, can you make one of them a panelist so that they can attend it? They can interact with.
Am I gave the rights to speak?
अच्छा, आपको rights हैं?
दे दी मैं मैंने उनको.
कर लो, it's okay.
आप
So,
कर सकते हो.
Anji, thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning,
Hello.
ma'am.
Good morning. Yes, can I, yeah. This is Monica, right?
I can't see myself. I'm assuming.
Okay. Let me have a view of a gallery. Yes.
And
Whom am I?
Neha this side?
Yes, Neha, tell me.
Yes.
Yeah. So you would like to experience what is it to be happy? For that, you have to be slightly unhappy.
I am a little slightly unhappy. I would say that.
And even if you're not really unhappy, all of you can work with, think of something that made you unhappy in the past and it is still unhealed, right? There would be something that could make you still unhappy if nothing, maybe somebody's sickness or, some trivial thing, and just see how it feels, right? Okay. So what we need to do is think of something that makes you unhappy. Yeah. Working with Neha, right? Neha?
Sneha, ma'am.
Sneha. Okay. Yes. So Sneha, is it possible to have you video on? Hide? No. Okay. No worries. So Sneha, just see how much is the unhappiness on a scale of 0 to 10. Okay. 0 means you're completely happy. There's no reason, no feeling of unhappiness. And 10 is you might as well commit suicide right now. That kind of unhappiness. So on 0 to 10, where are you at the moment, Sneha?
I would say 5.
5. I want all of you to assess for yourself on a 0 to 10 where you are. Okay. And now with me, you are going to recite with me as well as after me, okay? And I'll explain to you why I'm using particular words in a particular way, but I believe they're all safe words. And please recite in first experience, and then I'll tell you how it works, right? So Sneha, just say, with soul's love, S-O-U-L, soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
My unhappiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
Once again, we're going to say 7 times. With soul's love,
With
I
soul's
transform
love,
and transcend my unhappiness.
I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
With soul's love.
I
Mhm,
transform and transcend my unhappiness. From soul's
mhm.
love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness. From soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness. From soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
With soul's love.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhappiness.
Awesome. Now say, with soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for unhappiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons of my unhappiness.
Mhm.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons of my unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons of my unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons of my unhappiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness.
The brilliance in unhappiness.
Yes.
With
Because even
soul's love,
happiness, there's brilliance. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness.
with soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhappiness.
Ria says, how much is the state of unhappiness right now on a scale of 0 to 10?
I'd say I'm a 1 or a 2. I feel very light, very joyful. I have a big smile on my face. I feel
Mhm,
like a little bit of stuff that was inside me, it has transitioned and transformed.
mhm.
And I feel a lot lighter. I really have a very big smile. I wish you could see it on my face, but I really have a big smile, and I thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
giving me
Neha. It's very easy. You can do it on your own as well.
that.
It's that easy, right? Even a child can work around.
Mhm.
Mm. Um, okay, so that was about Sneha and unhappiness. Yes, Dr. Manju. You have to, thank you. You have to unmute. We can't hear you.
I'm just saying thumbs up.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. All right. So now we will address some of the beliefs, right? Because these are the beliefs which creates a state of unhappiness. All right. So what are the beliefs that rules a state of happiness or unhappiness? By the way, Sneha, just continue this practice and you will come to complete happiness totally. Like it should
Thank
come.
you.
to- Hmm?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Yeah. So we will let's highlight some of the beliefs. What are your beliefs related to unhappiness? Like no money is equal to unhappiness. Like how many of you have this belief? Right? Death is equal to unhappiness. How many of you have these associations and beliefs? Okay. Like for example, failure is equal to unhappiness. How many of you have that kind of association? Okay. I see. Okay, Nancy, I will certainly enlighten you. Okay, can we depend on our happiness for a short period of time for some positive energy? Can we depend on someone for our happiness for a short period of time? Okay, that happens when someone is in the folder of happiness. So we have a rule that a baby makes you feel happy. Okay. And When you see a baby, you feel happy. If you have happy associations with ice cream and chocolates, so when you have chocolates and ice cream, you feel temporarily happy because our attention goes to that folder. Okay. I should be good at everything. That's a belief. Okay. All right. So not good enough makes you unhappy. When you feel I'm not good enough or I'm not enough, that makes you feel unhappy, right? That is a very common thing. So let's work with this belief, right? So who would like to come forward? Should be good at everything. Sheena, would you like to come forward?
Sneha
have to-
has raised the hand.
And
do you want-
Sneha,
Yeah, really sorry. It was raised from before only.
Okay.
before only. Okay.
Do you want
All
to?
right. We can do
Yes. Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Sheena, yeah. Okay, fine. Fantastic. Thank you,
Hello.
Sheena.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
hi.
Hello,
So I should be good at everything. That's a rule that you have. So when you find yourself,
No, ma'am. That was just a suggestion. That's what.
Sheila, you can put your video on.
Hello.
Can you put your video on?
no, she
Uh,
just had a suggestion and not necessarily she wants to come as a demo, right?
No,
Sheena?
I can come as a demo, but I was just giving a generalized idea that
General
most
suggestion.
people have that, and that works for unhappiness.
Total. Yes. So let's kind of address that. Okay. My association of being not enough with unhappiness, right? That's the
Correct.
association with, correct?
Correct.
So
Correct.
let's break this association with this technique. Because every time you find yourself not enough or not good enough, you'll feel unhappy. And there's always somebody better than you if you look around, right? So
Correct.
however good you are, you'll see somebody who's better than you, and eventually you'll feel not enough or not good enough, and you'll feel unhappy. There's no reason why you should even get into that trap, but we do, because that's the way our subconscious mind is wired, right? Or programmed. So say with soul's love,
With soul's love,
I transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness.
I transform and transcend my association with unhealthy beliefs of happiness.
Once again, I'll say, with soul's love, I transform and transcend my
With soul's-
unhealthy associations with
With
soul's love.
soul's love, I transform and transcend my
unhealthy
associations, my unhealthy association
associations with love
with love,
or with happiness. Sorry,
with happiness, with happiness.
yeah,
With soul's love,
love,
I transform and transcend my
my
associations, my unhealthy associations with happiness,
with happiness. Yes.
with happiness. With soul's
With-
love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness.
Yes. With soul's love,
With soul's
I
love, I
transform.
transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness.
Yes.
With,
Mhm.
yes, ma'am.
With
With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy associations with happiness.
Now say with soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for unhealthy associations with happiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend reasons for
Unhealthy
unhappiness.
associations.
Unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons for unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for unhappiness. The reasons for unhealthy associations with happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for unhealthy associations with happiness.
With soul's love, I transform and transcend healthy associations.
Sorry, ma'am, the voice is breaking. Hello.
With love, I
Hello.
my healthy. Oh, okay. Breaking for everyone. I'll just put it over here. Internet connection is unstable. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and unhealthy associations.
With soul's love, I transcend and transform the brilliance in
Unhealthy.
unhealthy associations. With
Okay.
soul's love, I transform and transcend the unhappiness in the reasons
brilliance
of
and
association.
unhealthy associations. Yeah.
The reasons for unhealthy associations. With soul's love, I transform and transcend
The
the
brilliance
reasons, the brilliance
in unhealthy
in
associations.
unhealthy associations. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons,
Brilliance.
the brilliance in
Healthy.
unhealthy associations. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhealthy associations. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhealthy associations. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in unhealthy associations.
How are you feeling now, Sheena?
Better, ma'am.
I know I didn't ask you whether you're feeling good or not, but there would be an energetic and mood shift, right? With this much recipe.
Right.
Right. We can now, all of us, we work with the belief, okay? A lot of our unhappiness is because of our unhealthy beliefs, right? We have so many beliefs about happiness and unhappiness, and we are bound by that. So let's address, and you know which are the beliefs that makes you unhappy. So for example, say if you don't have a boyfriend, like for teenagers, if they don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they're supposed to be unhappy, only boys and girls who have boyfriends and girlfriends, they're supposed to be happy. If you're unmarried or childless, you're supposed to be unhappy. If you're jobless, you're supposed to be unhappy. If you don't have enough money, you're supposed to be unhappy. If you don't have smart clothes, you're supposed to be unhappy. If your body is not as per the norm, you're supposed to be unhappy. Your skin is not very healthy. You're supposed to be unhappy. We borrowed this from the society. Okay. And I'm not saying these are the truths. These are the beliefs we have inherited or borrowed. And it's high time we break free from these beliefs. How many of you really agree to that? Okay. All right. So are we ready to at least address some of these beliefs? Right. So I'm just taking it generally, but you can work with one belief at a time, right? So let's say, with soul's love, I transform and say it after me. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy beliefs related to happiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy beliefs. Just check your energy levels, mood levels. If you've been reciting with me or just simply listening to me with focus, probably you'll find a shift. Would anybody like to comment on this or share their experiences?
Yeah, there are vibrations actually.
You feeling the vibrations? Anyone else would like to give a feedback? Okay. Okay, I'm reading some of the comments here. Ma'am, could you please enlighten us about the importance of pre-conscious mind in the health and healing and happiness? Okay, so I would rather say the subconscious mind pre-programming. We've inherited certain genes that makes us more prone to happiness or unhappiness. And that's an inheritance. And yet we can work and change those programmings to a great extent. We've also borrowed from the cultural conditionings. We've also borrowed from our peer groups. And so a lot of programs are borrowed, and I also work with subconscious mind and superconscious mind. We can download the programs very much like how we can download it for our computers. If you know which program is right for us, we can easily download it in our subconscious mind, right? And change our response systems fully. Can we depend on someone for our happiness for a short period of time, for some positive energy? You can, of course. However, that doesn't give you a long-lasting and independent sense of happiness. Learn to rediscover inner happiness and joy for long-lasting, independent experience of happiness. If happiness is dependent on people and possibilities, then probably you're in for lots of ups and downs. Ma'am, altruism is one of the major issues pertaining in our society right now. How can we get rid of altruistic nature? It's all about inherited beliefs and conditionings. We've been taught what is good, what is not good, what is best, what is not best, or what is terrible, what is innocent. All those beliefs and conditionings, we've picked it up. And not all of them are meaningful or useful. However, we got pre-programmed much earlier in age, and we've even not realized that it's a pre-programming that acts through us. Once you get aware, you can change your beliefs, your programs, and respond differently. Okay, next is Navya. Ma'am, can you please tell the point when it is enough of sadness and we need to see the psychologist? Oh, suicidal tendency is one of them. Okay, so if you have a seriously suicidal thought, don't keep waiting for the healing stories. Meet a psychologist or psychiatrist first. Okay. Getting completely dysfunctional, where you do not really even take care of your life, your welfare. You know, that if you're sad to that point, please look, think of psychologist or meet a professional. What I'm teaching you is not an alternative work. It is complementary work. So even if you're taking treatments and medicines, you can still work it out on your own independently. And this is something, the statements, once you master, you can do it on your own, wherever you are, while waiting for a queue, taking bath, cooking your food. You can always recite the statements and keep bouncing back to your best. Okay, our organization is trapped in vicious cycle of committing suicide. How can one overcome the suicidal thoughts and seek happiness? Basically, there is a desire to escape. We think that life is going to be good after death. Being a regression therapist, having worked with the souls and metaphysics, trust, even after suicide, not everybody is feeling comfortable. In fact, I mean, a lot of people, after learning what is life after death, don't think of committing suicide. They want to complete the experiences they've brought forward and move on. So rather than escaping, if you can work with bringing about a shift in your response to life, probably you may not have to think about suicide. All right. Vaibhav, yes. I have to unmute you. Wait just a second. If I can give you a permission, ask to unmute. Yes, Vaibhav. You can speak now. Vaibhav, you've raised hands, so you can speak now. Unmute and speak. Not possible? Can my co-panelist help me with this? Okay, let me try with she. Yes. Sheena, I asked you to unmute. You'll have to unmute and then speak. Sorry, Anjali.
Anjali, can you unmute yourself? You have been given the permission. Unmute yourself.
Not working?
Sheena has again raised her hand.
I don't think my permission to unmute is helping.
Arvind ji,
Ma'am, all have a rights. Whoever that raise the hands, all have a right to speak.
Oh,
Acha.
okay.
So please unmute yourself if you are raising your hand. And then mute yourself after asking the question.
Okay. Shrey, try it out if you can unmute and speak. Or just type your question. All right. So meanwhile, I'm reading. Felt heavy, Manisha said, felt heavy in brain and took time to emerge from the process. What could be the reason? Kindly answer. Gratitude. Yeah. How are you feeling, Manisha, now? Just let me know. I'll explain why you felt the way you felt.
Oh my God. There is a question.
Hmm.
One of the chats is saying, respected ma'am, our generation is trapped in the vicious cycle of committing suicide. How can one overcome the suicide through thoughts and seek happiness?
I think if we truly feel happy, sure, there won't be any thought of suicide, right? There's a deep unhappiness over stuff that's happening in and around you that takes you towards suicide. It's more of an escape mechanism. And as I said right in the beginning, it's not about the circumstances, it's your response to the circumstances. So there's no sure shot one kind of answer, but training young generations right from the beginning to respond to life with happiness will reduce the suicidal attempts to a great extent. Okay. And also there are some rebellious retaliation stories. Also some of the fear-based suicides, that again is a very, very emotional impulse. If you learn to have a better grip over your feelings, you don't have to go to an extent where you end your life, because there's always a positive possibility lined up for you. The technique that I taught doesn't have to be worked only for unhappiness. You can work it for your anger, for your heaviness, for your pains, aches. You can use this for confusions, for lack of clarity, for difficulty in understanding, for your concentration, focus, almost everything you can use it for, because everything that you think is not working, after all, starts from a thought that doesn't work for you.
So I think all the participants, you will benefit a lot. I think these are very, very simple sentences. And as Ms. Atman is telling you, that you can use them for anything, I mean, physical, psychological, anything, anything. So even for your constipation, you can use it. So interesting, so interesting, so interesting.
You can use it for your digestion also. You can use it if you feel breathless. I'm not saying that it's a medical alternative. And yet, it's amazing how you can start breathing better.
And
Okay.
I think you were mentioning about boyfriend and girlfriend. So you can use it for your attracting your boyfriend and girlfriend also.
Mhm. Yeah, I think today's generation need that the most.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of them are teenagers are sitting with me in this room and they're all smiling.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes.
So you can show
Okay.
your smile.
Okay. So I would have really loved to make it more interactive. My plan was to have a discussion and few demos and a practice round. However, if that is not happening, then we need to switch the plan immediately. So, Dr. Manju,
Yeah,
any
I think
suggestion on this?
all the panelists, if you can put on your video on and interact, then an interactive session is possible. So I would request all the panelists to kindly, because I think we all have joined here to learn and we all are very keen to learn. So I think you can put down your whatever work you are doing, just put on your video and we can have a beautiful interactive session. Nishiji, please put on your video. Yogita, Rajarshi, Kavita, Janki, Nancy, Pragya, Dr. Mala, Manu, Rashmi, please put on your videos. Dr. Ritu, Navya, Prachi, Dr. Prachi, Balram, सूबेदार मेजर यादव जी, आप लोग सब अपने प्लीज वीडियो ऑन कर लीजिए. डॉक्टर रश्मि, थैंक यू फॉर पुटिंग ऑन योर वीडियो. निशित, थैंक यू. राशि, थैंक यू. So Navya, good.
Thank you so much for showing your faces. It feels good. You know?
The panelist feels very lost when the videos are not on.
Yes, yes. It feels like you're talking to a wall.
The wall, yeah.
Exactly.
I've experienced it so many times.
Yes.
Thank you, Malati.
Thank you so much for putting on the video, and it's a pleasure to see everyone's faces, bright and cheerful. And I wonder whether you really need this talk on unhappiness, because you look quite happy otherwise in general. That's a great thing. Great. So what's been the learning so far? I mean, if you heard so far, what is it that struck the most in the presentation? Let's begin with that.
Yeah, please. Any of you can speak.
Dr. Rashmi, you'll have to unmute and speak.
Okay. Very good morning to all members, Atman ma'am, Manju ma'am. And I was just listening in between. I was doing my work as well, but I was focusing on what I can gain from your session. I was quite excited to know more about Reiki and all these things. I had heard, but I had never went in detail about it. So I got some idea of that, and I liked it. In fact, you can say it was such a simple method. I was thinking of it is something so much complicated, and that's why I never went into it. So your method was so simple. So I just love that, and the energy and the smile that you spread, that was so catchy. I couldn't stop listening you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And is there something that you would like to add to it for the listeners? You know, because there are people who are non-MTI.
Yes.
So would you like
Actually,
to add?
I was also, yes, ma'am. I was also listening to the problems of the students. So they are so occupied with their unhappiness, isn't it? And when they think of something and they keep brooding over that, similar thoughts come. So I always give this example to my student also, and I'm giving here also, that just take the example of social media or any social media platform. Whatever you look at once, जो आप एक बार देखते हैं, that keeps repeating because artificial intelligence catches that and serves you with the similar kind of programs and videos. So the same kind of energy is also in the universe, isn't it? So
So
if any such thought comes like that, and if you focus on that thought, a similar thought, it attracts similar kind of thoughts from everywhere from the universe, and that's why you are in a position that you cannot get over it. So the simple thing is that you immediately switch to something good, and just keep watching something good, and you will get the good energy coming to you. Just like artificial intelligence works behind the social media platform, in actual form also, that same energy works, and happiness is the work of energy. You meet the right kind of people, you see the right kind of stuff, and you get involved with what you think about all these things, and then you will get a lot of things in positive manner. So that is what I suggest my student, that switch to the positive people, positive thoughts, and just don't compare. Everything starts with the comparison. So never ever compare yourself anyone, even better than you or lower than you. You are unique individual, as we say in psychology. So just think about your uniqueness. And your uniqueness is your strength. If you're like everyone, that's not your strength. If you're different from them, that's your strength, and you should work on that. And then you will come out like a flowering, beautiful flower. When you feed yourself, when you nourish your that unique talent. So instead of comparing yourself or others are doing, never do that. Because they are not doing because others are doing. They're doing because they have something in that. That's why they're doing it. And you can never compare with them, because you have to do what you inside you, isn't it? So just try to focus on yourself. That's my mantra. always.
Right. You said so beautifully. You said a few things which are worth making a note of. It's like how artificial intelligence catches your thought and serves you exactly based on
Yes,
your
that's
needs
a fact.
and experience. So there is a greater intelligence which does almost the same thing. Our mind works almost the same like your mobile or a computer. Do you know that? So be very careful
Exactly,
about what
exactly.
if you have a thought which is so-called negative and you think you should not be thinking, trying to resist it, it's going to be difficult. So for example, you have an unhealthy thought, okay, which you know that it's immoral, I should not be thinking this way, or it is destructive in nature. And somebody just said a suicidal thought. And you try and fight those thoughts. The more you try and fight, the more you think about those thoughts. So how do you work with those thoughts? So say, I transform with Soul's Love, I transform and transcend this thought. You want to try it out? Okay. So I'm going to take you all through that. Think of one kind of thought or image or certain obsession that you have. You know, it's like, let me give you an example, a funny example. So I don't want you to think an elephant wearing pink panty. Please don't think. Okay. You can think about anything else, but do not think of an elephant wearing a pink colored panty. What happened? The first thing you're going to think about that, right? So when you decide that you should not be thinking A, B, C, or X, Y, Z, you're going to keep thinking about that. And that's how the mind works. What you need to do is you need to transform and transit. So now let me explain to you what's the meaning of all the words that I use. Soul's love uh, is that frequency which is so beautiful and so powerful that it can dissolve all toxic emotions. So we first invoke soul's love so that it gets easier for us to dissolve all toxic emotions, thoughts, beliefs, right? Emotions are energies and cannot be destroyed. Never. Okay. And no energy can be destroyed, but it can only be transformed. So don't think of killing your emotions. Generally, you're suppressing, you're not even killing, you're not even destroying. What you need to think of is transformation. The moment the emotions are transformed, you're beyond that emotions. Okay. And third that you need to think of is transcending, because Einstein said that long back. What he said is, you cannot solve a problem at the level of consciousness you created. When you raise your consciousness, it gets easier for you to address that problem. So you need to transcend your problem. Okay, you need to transcend your emotions. And the moment you transcend, you're beyond that. And when you're beyond that, it doesn't affect you so badly. Okay, so that's basically is the meaning and the intent behind the statements that we had designed. So how do we design this statement? With soul's love, I transform and transcend, followed by whatever is your problem, perceived problem. So your thought, your emotions, sadness, anger, fear, jealousy, whatever it is. Then say, with self-love, I transform and transcend the reasons without getting into analysis. We directly transform and transcend even the reasons. And then third is, with self-love, we transform and transcend the brilliance. Okay. Because if there is a problem, there is a brilliance lined up in it. So if you have a story, issue, problem, it is essentially because we have the universe has planned something beautiful in it. It's like the universe keeps giving you gift time and again. You reject it, another gift comes with the same beauty. And yet, if the wrapper is not so good, you reject. So problems are those wrappers which has brought you lovely gifts. Several times you realize that in retrospect, but not when you're going through it. It's only when you transcend, you'll be able to see the brilliance and embrace the brilliance. When you embrace the brilliance, the unpleasant wrappers can fly off. You don't need them anymore. So a lot of time troubles come with a package deal, and that also includes a lovely gift for you. Faster you take the gift, the better it is. So I transform and transcend my problem. I transform and transcend the reasons for my problems. I transform and transcend the brilliance in the problem, and begin with the soul's love. So it gets easier for you to dilute the energy in soul's love. I hope that's clear. Any question on this?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a question. I thought, is there any substitute word in other languages like Hindi? Because a lot of clients are more comfortable in Hindi. So is there
Right.
any possibility of having some related?
हाँ जी, नहीं वो ट्रांसफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसेंड का पता नहीं है, लेकिन आत्मा प्रेम से मैं
Okay.
अपने गुस्से को
ऊंचाई पे।
ट्रांसफर ट्रांसेंड ही रखिए, क्योंकि
Transform is
आई
fine.
थिंक सो मैं आत्मा प्रेम से अपने गुस्से को ट्रांसफॉर्म और ट्रांसेंड करती हूँ। मैं आत्मा प्रेम से अपनी छटपटाहट को ट्रांसफॉर्म और ट्रांसेंड करती हूँ। दैट वे यू कैन यूज इट एंड इट वर्क्स ब्यूटिफुली।
Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
So I also have a small little ebook. If you want, you can go to my website and download. And it has got statements for every emotions that you could go through. And you can refer to these emotions, I mean, the statements, and practice it on your own. These are the first steps, the ABC, the level 0 for it. You have a lot to learn in that, but the beginning also can be very beautiful and amazing and powerful. So I want you to, all of you, try and download that, or if possible, can it be given as an attachment here? I'm not sure. So I'm just putting it over here. You can go and download from the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just put the website address, and you can download it from there directly. Yeah. Now, as I promised, I'll take you through a small meditation to transform and transcend and reach a better space, right? So close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. It's okay to switch off your videos, that's fine, because you would like to be comfortable and lesser conscious of yourself. Okay. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in a lot of positive energy. And breathe out stresses, worries, anxieties, fears, frustrations, concerns through your mouth. Continue breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. We are going to start by transforming and transcending some of the thoughts that are not working for us, followed by emotions, energy, and a state of being, right? Let's begin with that. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my unhealthy thoughts and thought patterns. With soul's love, I transcend and transform my negative emotions. With soul's love, I transcend and transform and transcend my negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend reasons for my negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in the negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negative emotions. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my sad memories. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and future worries. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in our negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in negative patterns. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reason for my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reason for my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reason for my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negative attitude. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my adverse belief. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my adverse belief. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my adverse beliefs. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my adverse belief. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my negativity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons to thrive in life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in thriving life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in thriving life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in thriving life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my discomforts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my discomforts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my discomforts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons for discomfort. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons for discomfort. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my reasons for discomfort. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in discomfort. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in discomfort. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my insecurities. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my insecurities. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my insecurities. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in insecurity. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my need to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my resistance to forgive. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for the feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and the feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and the feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and the feeling of unworthiness. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the confusion. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my confusion and conflict. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my confusion and conflicts. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend brilliance and the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance and the divinity within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the reasons for my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance in my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance of my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance of my life. With soul's love, I transform and transcend myself. 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 With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance within. With soul's love, I transform and transcend the brilliance within. Slowly move your fingers and your toes. Move your head from side to side. Shrug your shoulders. Rub your palms. Give a gentle massage to your body and face. Take a deep breath and now open your eyes. Welcome back. Okay. All right, so the next round is the round of question answers. And now if you want to understand the same presentation, I can repeat it because you will understand in a different perspective now. Whatever Dr. Manju suggests, I'll go with it. So we have two choice, question answers and going through the presentation once again.
I think we'll prefer question answers.
Yeah, sure.
Let's give the chance to the participants. There are more than 100 participants, so let them ask the questions. In case we are short of questions, then we can go back to the
Yes.
question answer. So anybody, you can put it in your chat box, or if you raise your hand, we will unmute you. I think everyone is so engrossed with the meditation that they will
take time to come up.
It was a beautiful experience. It was a wonderful experience. And I think by the time the questions are coming, let me share one experience. In 2021, when my husband was admitted in the hospital and COVID, he was in the hospital due to COVID and we were really worried. And then my daughter-in-law Supriya approached you and your team did some meditation and did some work on her and some certain
Healing.
Healing. They did a healing, and let me share that he was on about 10 liters of oxygen, and immediately after that process, next day he came to 2 liters of oxygen. So that was the magic that happened, which I will never forget, and I'm truly grateful to you and everyone.
Thank you. That was the teamwork, I guess. A lot of work. Yes. Thank you. So this is something you should learn, master, and empower yourself with, because nothing really inhibits you but your adverse thoughts, adverse beliefs, adverse patterns, and adverse responses. And that's pretty much there in your hands or in your mind. And you can transform and transcend and become a better person day by day. With every passing day, you can have a different response, different zest for life, and different way of tackling the same problem, which is pretty transformed and transcended. And trust, life is going to be a joyride.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Atman Parmar, just type AATMN, Atman Parmar, and you can go through these meditations. There are plenty of meditations there,
Okay.
and you can enjoy them.
Okay, great. Great. So I think, what would everyone suggest? Should we go back I think people are quite entrenched in the meditation itself, and they have got all the answers. In the meantime, we are getting the questions. I just wanted to ask you, when you say I transcend and transform the brilliance in unhappiness, for example. So,
Yes.
what do we really imply or mean? Although I should know my logic, but
Yes, yes, you need to know that. I'm just looking for the pendulum. Wait a minute for the this is the pendulum. So this is how we are. I'm just giving you a demonstration through a pendulum.
Yeah.
Okay. We live in duality.
Yeah.
So unhappiness on one side, and there is happiness on another side.
Right.
Unhappiness, you go from here, go to happiness. You can see this?
Yeah.
This goes on in life. This
Yeah.
is how we move. Okay,
Yeah.
whether it's unhappiness, happiness, or anger, peace, restlessness, calmness, it goes on in duality. As we transform and transcend, we go closer and closer. Okay.
Achha.
So further away from the source that we are, more are the fluctuations, and more is the polarity. As we transcend, we go closer and closer to the source, and lesser is the fluctuation.
Right.
And as we go still more close, the fluctuation is minimum.
Absolutely.
Okay. And as we transcend more and more, we go to the bliss level.
Right.
Okay, that's where we need to be. So even transcend happiness and go to the bliss level. And when you're in bliss, you're beyond unhappiness or happiness.
Okay. Okay. And that's what brilliance implies.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. Yeah.
Any question from anyone?
Generally I say that if you don't have any questions, that means either you did not understand anything or you understood everything. But are still hanging around, so there must be something that they got, I presume. I would love to have your feedbacks. It is type feedback, so I know how it.
My team, I would request the team to kindly put on paste the feedback form here. And we'll share it with the Satman also, feedback form.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So thank you to all organizers. I know how much work goes on and how much efforts and nitty-gritty that one has to, as a team, also as an individual, also you have to go through to organize events at this level.
I know.
So congratulations and thank you so much. A lot of gratitude.
We are happy that we are so grateful that we started this conference with your session, and I think everyone is feeling calm after the hectic work of 1 year almost, and for the last 3-4 months we are truly into it. So we are now quite relaxed, quite satisfied, and we are going to practice for every day session. We are going to practice this soul's love so that everything goes on fine.
Beautiful. Keep it up and let me know what next now. Over to you, Dr. Minju.
Thank you very much. I would request ACEPH to kindly give a vote of thanks.
Before the vote of thanks, if you would like to present the certificate of appreciation to the speaker. Ma'am, I would request you to kindly present the certificate of appreciation to the speaker.
Thank you so much. Honored.
I'll just read out. So we are truly grateful, and this is just a token of appreciation, a small certificate, although in a virtual mode, and we'll just send it to you through the email. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You give the vote of thanks, Hasib.
On behalf of our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Chancellor Rajasthan and Haryana University and Chairperson Lucknow University, our beloved Dr. Aseem Chauhan, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, our respected Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Sunil Dhaneshwar, Deans, HOIs and HODs of the university, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the speaker and the moderator of the session for sparing their valuable time for the cause of spreading positivity and happiness. I also want to thank the technical team and the session in charges, without whom this conference just wouldn't be possible. We are truly grateful to you for this inspiring session, and I'm sure that the audience has benefited a lot from the valuable inputs provided by you and will surely implement them in their own lives. At least I will definitely do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Atman. We'll keep in touch, and we would request that later also we will keep holding some workshops of Amity Center of Excellence, and whenever you can spare some time, we would request you to kindly give your time for our students.
Would be a pleasure and certainly a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just small information that this session is over, but we will be beginning with another workshop at 2:30 p.m. on mindfulness. So I would request all the participants and the panelists to be present by 2 to 15 so that we may start. The second session on this pre-conference workshop is conducted by Dr. Samdu Chetri. He is the former executive director of GNS Center, Bhutan, and also a consultant of Reiki Foundation, IIT Kharagpur. And the topic of his session would be mindfulness, rhythms of mindfulness for being happy and well. So I would request everybody to please join in for another wonderful session which is going to be conducted. Thank you so much.
And Ms. Atman, if you also have a time sometime and you wish to join, it will be great.
Yes, I would certainly like to come. At least at 2:30 I'll join. Thank you so much for inviting.